This is kvci.blogspot.com. I'm George Boston Rhines, and I want you to know the truth. I want you to understand what you may not know. I want you to understand what others may feel that you don't have a need to know. You're looking at the heading of the Quitman Free Press newspaper in Brooks County, home of the Quitman 10, and the other citizens who support them. And you've heard many things about the Quitman 10. You've heard about alleged absentee ballot voter fraud. You've heard many things. You've seen much published in local newspapers and on TV. But have anybody talked to you about the absentee ballot application itself? I was concerned about it, and so I went to the Lowndes County Board of Elections and I talked with Deb Couth. I also reviewed the form, even before they were arrested, about absentee ballot applications. I don't remember the Quitman Free Press or the Valdosta Daily Times or any local television station talking about what is contained or written on the application itself. Now let's go back, and I'm not an expert in this area, but I do know it was repeated over and over again in the news media here in South Georgia that there were a spike in the number of absentee ballots in Brooks County compared to Thomasville and other even larger and smaller communities around the state of Georgia. But very little is talked about, and I've addressed this in several letters to the editor. Very little is mentioned about, well, let me go back. They talk about the reason for the investigation was that there was a major spike in the number of absentee ballots. Well, I've been with the NAACP and civil rights organizations since 1975, and I do know that there were a time when everybody could not vote by absentee ballot. I think it was about 7 years ago the law was changed, wherein anybody could vote by absentee ballot. But I wanted the South Georgia newspapers to do and to at least print the truth on what the application itself says on the front cover. But let's just look, since there was a major increase in absentee ballots in Brooks County. Now, and they say that that is the basics for why the investigation was initiated. But look, here under description of codes on the back of the absentee ballot form itself, look what it says. It breaks down the codes, E, O, Q, etc., etc. But down here, look what it says, NR. And this is on the front of the page, but these are the codes on the back defined. Requesting an absentee ballot by mail and not required to provide a reason. By mail only. The absentee ballot will be mailed to your address as registered. Now, that means that anybody can vote by absentee ballot. Now, if an organization or a concerned citizen who want to vote by absentee ballot, they have a right. Oh yeah, They have a right to do it. And so if everybody in Brooks County decides to vote by absentee ballot, guess what? Oh, there will be a major spike in the number of absentee ballots in any election. I repeat, there could be a spike, an extremely high spike, spike. If the people decide that, well, we don't trust the voting machines and we want to vote, so we will have a paper trail. So we won't have to worry about pregnant chads, invitational chads, partial chads, etc., etc., etc. And so, will there be an investigation because everybody in Lowndes County decided to vote by absentee ballot because they wanted a paper trail? Or because a group of people got together and said, let's go out and register the thousands of people here in Valdosta that are not registered, and while we are registering them, let's just carry an absentee ballot or ask them or give them the knowledge of, you also can vote by absentee ballot by filling out the application. And if they choose to do it, then guess what? There's a spike. So does that call for an investigation? This is kvci.blogspot.com. I'm only bringing this up to you because too often I notice that the Quitman Free Press and other South Georgia news media too often does not address these issues. The Quitman Free Press, I'm waiting for them to address what the citizen brought to me and another pastor in this area here in Lowndes County about the intimidation of voters, to the degree that it galvanized state representatives and senators to come to Brooks County, civil rights leaders and women's group, etc., came in support of the Quitman 10 because they didn't see anything that they had done wrong. Well, I know that we must wait and let the law take its course. However, we also should demand and expect answers to our questions, especially to the voters in Brooks County. But above all, we can only ask why. Nobody has asked a question since it has been published repeatedly that because of the spike in absentee ballots, that's why the investigation was started. But the new instructions printed on the back of the absentee ballot application itself says in aura, it says in aura, and in aura it says that anybody can vote by absentee ballot, and you do not have to be sick, disabled, or anything. And so if you, me, my child, or children wanted to vote by absentee ballot, then it is obvious, it is certain that there would be a spike in the number of absentee ballots. It don't mean that somebody necessarily did anything wrong, but it means that the citizens need to be informed, regardless of the outcome of this case. During this case, in my most humble opinion, it should have been reported. It's right there in black and white. I would love for the Valdosta Daily Times and the Quitman Free Press to have written, anybody can vote absentee ballot, and therefore a spike could come at any time here in South Georgia in any polling place, because the law is the law. This is kvci.blogspot.com. Just wanted you to understand. I'm sorry it took so long, but look how long we've been waiting for the general newspapers and television to tell you, and you're still waiting. We want you informed because that's what we do, and it is time that it be done. Peace.